There are times in After Effects that it makes sense to group layers together into a single item, either to simplify complicated comps or make editing, moving or applying effects a bit easier. Now, this video looks at nesting, which is the process of dragging one comp into another so it's treated as a single layer. It's important to understand nesting in order to achieve an effective and efficient After Effects workflow. And nesting's perfect for situations like this where I've edited a sequence of images together and I've decided I want to retime them. Retiming the individual layers would be a pain. So instead, what I do is I nest the comp inside another comp. Now I could create a new comp and then place this into it, but a much easier way is just to drag the comp onto the new comp button here in the project panel. And that will place it inside this new comp, which is called Mountain Down 2. I'm going to rename it in the project panel by selecting it and hitting return on the keyboard, and I'll call this Retimed Sequence Comp. Okay, so now in my Retimed Sequence Comp, I can select this and I can go to my layer menu, into Time, enable time remapping. And now I can animate the timing of this. So if I want it to speed up and slow down, for example, I could maybe have it fast forward there a little bit and then slow down a little bit between here and here, or maybe even go backwards. Let's make it go backwards. And we can create a kind of scrubby kind of video by making the time go backwards and forwards. Now you'll find out more about time remapping in another video, but just to give you an idea of how that works, let's preview it. And you'll see now time goes backwards and forwards. I can start to mess around with the timing and get a much more interesting effect than if I was just playing them all for exactly the same amount of time. Okay, so at this point you just see them fading from one image to another, but at the beginning we have this really nice kind of scratch video effect where the timing changes randomly. So that's one of the reasons it's good. You can add timing effects, but you can also just apply color treatments as a single layer. So if I go up here and I choose, for example, the tint effect, and I drag and drop that onto the nested comp, the tint is now applied to all the layers within that nested comp. Now, the nice thing is, at any time I can go back into the nested comp and make adjustments. Like you'll notice here, this is a bit too much of a close-up for my liking. So I could double-click the comp, go into the nested comp, and if my preferences are set to keep synchronizing the time of all related items, this one here, then when I move to a specific time in my nested comp, which I can jump to by just clicking on here on my little flowchart, when I change the timing here, that's going to update in the nested comp. So I can jump between my comps by using this little flowchart. Okay, that's just a really quick way of jumping between nested comps. So now I can go in here and maybe make a change to that image. I might want to scale it up even further and make the eye really central, adjust the anchor point as well. So we have the eye more central to the shot. When I go back to my nested comp, you'll see that that's updated. So you still have the flexibility of being able to go and edit individual clips, but you can treat those individual clips as a whole by nesting them in another composition.